What's up everybody, Todd here. Today we're going to install the Momentum HD cold air intake from aFe Power on this 2020 Ram 2500 with the 6.7 liter Cummins diesel. Tools I'll be using for this installation are a fastener removal tool, a small flathead screwdriver, a ratchet with extensions, 8mm, 10mm, and 11mm sockets, and a T20 Torx bit. Now make sure you're subscribed to our channel to keep up to date with all our latest content. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, now before you get started, you want to make sure the truck has been turned off for about an hour. That will allow the truck to enter into sleep mode. That way, whenever you disconnect harnesses, you don't trigger any kind of fault codes whenever you hook everything back up. Now what we need to do is remove this cover. What we're going to have is 14 plastic fasteners, 12 that run along the front, and then 2 that are right back here in the back. We're going to go ahead and pop those and retain them for later. All right, now using a 10mm, go ahead and remove these 2 bolts that hold the factory air scoop in place. Okay, now before we can pull our factory air box out, we need to release the harness that goes to our mass airflow sensor and temperature sensor. We're going to use a fastener removal tool to pry that out. Now we can go ahead and disconnect our air temperature sensor. Just push in and pull out. Now our mass airflow sensor, it can be kind of tricky. There's a piece that comes off, and so instead of losing that, what we're going to do is just take a T20 Torx bit, and we're going to go ahead and pull this whole sensor out, and I'm going to show you how to disconnect that. All right, next what we're going to do is go ahead and pull out our mass airflow sensor. Let me flip this around and show you how this works. This is our clip. We're going to take a precision flathead screwdriver, and we're going to pop that up and out, and then we can disconnect it. All right, now back to the T20 Torx again. We're going to go ahead and pull out our factory air temperature sensor and set that to the side. All right, now this is going to be a little bit difficult to see with the camera, but if you follow the factory air tube down to the turbo, you're going to see we've got a band clamp right here. If you follow that band clamp back towards the passenger side front tire, you're going to see that there's an 8mm head bolt that tightens that band clamp. What we're going to do is loosen that up and pull this free from the turbo. Okay, now we can go ahead and pull the factory air tube free from the turbo. Okay, now we're going to use the same 8mm to loosen up this band clamp that holds the factory air tube to the airbox. All right, then rotate that band clamp and slide it free and pull the factory air tube out. All right, next what we're going to do is remove this harness from our airbox. All right, now the factory air box is connected to the factory air scoop. The air box is also right now just held in by some rubber grommets. So what we're going to do is kind of wiggle it and pull it free, and the entire unit is going to come out all in one piece. Okay, now here is our new aFe air box. When we flip this upside down, we're going to notice we got a couple of holes down at the bottom and a hole right here. What I did is I took the grommets out of the factory air box, and those are going to install into these holes. We're going to go ahead and flip it over, get our largest T-bolt clamp and set it in place. We're going to go ahead and drop our filter in. And we're going to tighten this up using a 10mm. All right, now we can go ahead and install our mass airflow sensor and temperature sensor into our new elbow. Now, mass airflow sensor is only going to be able to go in one way, and we are not reusing the factory screws. They actually give us some new Torx screws to install with this. We're going to line them up and tighten them down. Do not over tighten this. And we're going to do the exact same with our temperature sensor. And again, we are not reusing the factory hardware, we're using the provided hardware. Still using a T20 Torx bit. All right, next we're going to take our second largest band clamp, slide it over top of our filter opening, and take our elbow, and we're going to fit that in place. Now we're going to snug this up. We're not going to tighten it down. We just don't want this to fall out, but we do want it to be able to be adjustable once we get it inside the engine compartment. So we're going to go ahead and tighten this up. And remember, just barely snug. All right, now we need to go ahead and attach our silicone coupling to our intake tube. What we're going to do is get our second smallest T-bolt band clamp and slide it over top. You're going to notice there is a notch on the tube, and there's also a cutout on the silicone coupling. Those have to line up. So we're going to slide that into place. And with that in place, we can go ahead and take our band clamp and slide it over. You might want to loosen up that band clamp a little bit to get it to slide. And once it is in place, we're going to go ahead and tighten that down with an 11 millimeter. Okay, so here is our factory air scoop. It just popped right off of the factory air box, and it's going to pop right onto our new aFe air box the same way it came off. Now let's go ahead and drop this down into the engine bay. Okay, now before we drop this into place, I want to show you, I've already got our smallest T-bolt band clamp attached loosely to the bottom side of our silicone coupling. And this way, when we drop it in place, this will line directly up to our turbo. We can slip this over top of our turbo and then tighten this down with an 11 millimeter. Let's go ahead and drop this down. All right, now we can go ahead and reconnect our mass airflow sensor and temperature sensor. Let's pop right into place. All right, now we're going to go ahead and tighten our air tube to our filter using an 11 millimeter. All right, now once the aFe air box is set in place onto the factory mounting locations through the factory grommets, go ahead and line up the air scoop and reattach it using the factory hardware and a 10 millimeter. Now we're going to go ahead and reinstall the factory cover, reusing the push pins we took out. Well, that concludes the installation. If you found this video helpful, make sure and give us a thumbs up. If you want to know more about the product, check the link in the description below. And as always, if you have any questions, call the experts or visit us online.